Hey there, and welcome to the podcast Tiling Connect, hosted by Mark Moskwa. This show is designed to connect people with the best information intended to strengthen the business of tiling. To keep up to date with all the episodes, don't forget to subscribe.
Today's episode is brought to you by RLA Polymers and Gripset. For peace of mind when waterproofing, trust Gripset's 38FC, the king of membranes. 38FC has been the industry benchmark for years and is rigorously tested internally and through certified NADA laboratories, giving you verified peace of mind. Developed alongside contractors, 38FC has confirmed coverage of 10 square metres per pale and adheres to AS 4858 and AS 4654 compliance. With a quick 1 hour recode time, you can get the job done in record speed without compromising on quality. Don't fall for the copycat products. Trust Gripset's 38FC, the king of membranes. Hey everybody, Mark here at Tiling Connect. Welcome back to the show. More importantly, welcome back to another episode of The Life of Tiles in Australia. I'm really lucky and fortunate to have another amazing guest return actually to the program today. He was on in episode 10, so back in 2022, and he shared with us his, at the time, the vision of the business that he was in, and he's now made some different moves and is shaking the world up in that space. So welcome back, Sean Summers, who is the Managing Director of Ultimate Tiles in Melbourne.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate being on again. A lot's changed since our last pod. So, yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into it and tell you about all the exciting things we've been doing down in Melbourne.
I can't wait, and looking forward to deep diving into that, mate. So, look, let's start it off. I want to know about the latest adventure that you've embarked on. And when we talk about strategic growth and vision of businesses, you've recently acquired a new business in the Mornington Peninsula in Melbourne, another sort of bold step in the Ultimate Tiles expansion. Give us a bit of a look in on what the thinking is behind choosing Mornington, and how does it fit into your vision of becoming Victoria's largest independent tile supplier?
Yeah, so the decision to acquire the Mornington store was, it's got a bit of history about it too, anyone that's listened to the previous episode. Fred Milana, my father Rick, and Paul Cannizzaro started up Ultimate Tiles. So we've always had a strong connection between the three families, and Fred got to the point in his career where he thought might be time to retire and hang up the tile boots, which created the opportunity for the Mornington store to be purchased. So it's a strong store. It's been a wealthy, healthy store over the last 40 years. It's been down the peninsula, prime location on the Nepean Highway. So for us to sit down with Fred and work through the nuts and bolts of that is a great acquisition for the Ultimate Tiles brand, and sets us up with a good growth strategy for the company as well.
So that's the three locations that you have now?
Yep. So we're located in Pakenham, Narre Warren, and Mornington. The Narre Warren is mainly a trade centre with a showroom in there as well. And then, we've been in Pakenham now for, it'd be nearly 25 years. And Ultimate Tiles, or Fountain Gates Remix, it used to be called, now 37 years.
Yeah, wow. 3 decades and more of business in the area. And I believe the Mornington Ultimate Tiles also has a reasonably strong trade branch there as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's a trade centre at the back of the showroom there as well. So Tim heads up that department. It's been good getting to know the new team down there, creating some new relationships too, and really understanding how that business and how it's been so successful and why it's been so successful, and continue to build on the foundation. I think that's important for me, is how I go about my journey, is respect the history that's already there, but then modernise it and take a new approach to it as well.
While we're on the topic, what sort of modernisation are you thinking of in terms of, not only just Mornington, but the other stores? Are there particular things that you've got in the pipeline that will happen shortly?
Yeah, absolutely. So spread across 3 locations, we're already seeing the challenge of keeping people connected. And it's important for us to, maybe use some more technology to help build those pipelines so they're nice and clear for, whether that's new staff or existing staff to sort of see how it all comes together. For us, the days of, working in the tile shop on tile floor, serving all the customers that come in, it's hard for me and my management team to get those sort of things. So we're in a transition phase where we can really build good quality teams, but then use our technology. So HubSpot or a CRM is what we've used a lot of lately, and we're integrating that into our what is it called, ERP, I think. So that's how we're going to integrate that into our ClearTile system. So that's going to be one way that we can communicate through our customers and with our teams to make sure that we're delivering what we promise. I think it's a no-brainer that AI has a role to play. I remember a customer coming to me the other day, showed me his fireplace, did his little chat GPT on it and put up his new facade that he was going to put up. And I go, oh, that's just amazing. How'd you do that? And he just, using chat GPT. So I think that has a place to play in our stores somewhere. And I think, we do a lot of builders work as well. So estimating software or takeoff software that we're already using, but enhancing that to maybe get our estimating timelines down and a bit more accurate towards the builders so they can quickly fire up their quotes to their clients as well.
Yeah, nice. Awesome, mate. Definitely some excellent pieces there of the puzzle that you're bringing together to make everything move together smoothly for the future. And look, touching on the sort of the trade and the retail aspect of the stores that you have now across the different areas, you've obviously been, successfully, you built a business that, has successfully served both professional trades, DIY renovators and builders over many, many years. How do you maintain a balance without compromising the quality of service or focus for each group?
So I think it's important to have somewhat experts in each area. So if it comes in trade or waterproofing, we've got someone that can look after that. Landscaping, we can look after that. Interior design has been a new growth for us as well.
Oh, wow.
But there's so there's a lot, like we've employed some interior designers, which, bring some great skills, attributes to the business too. Yeah, I think having experts in those areas certainly helps build the confidence in the customer, and then allows us to go to different segments of the market as well and perform strongly, and then built off our sort of baseline of customer service and hands-on face-to-face type work will help encourage more of those customers to come to us. From a business point of view, I think it's really helpful to have these different areas in the market. And I know we're going to talk about how the construction industry is going, but right now, while the construction industry is being pretty quiet, you can move into other areas like landscaping, which adds another dimension to the business. So, bringing in some new product and things like that certainly help in those areas.
Yeah, and I imagine, I think you and I have spoken previously about the landscaping market in another life that I was living, and is it more trade-related products, or is it a combination of both trade-related installation products and actual, landscape pavers and things like that as well?
So all of it. We noticed that there's probably a bit of a gap for companies to look after all of it. So you may see some companies may do stone, they may do the trade sealers type sort of thing, but that landscaping market's growing and the customer expectation moves with it, where they want to be able to shop at one place, or they want everything to go on the one truck. So we've got everything from your pavers and your cladding, obviously all the tiling tools, landscaping tools, glues, grouts, sealers, etc. Drainage has been another one, with the skimmer lids and the tile insert drains. And then we've recently introduced real turf and artificial turf into the range as well.
Interesting. Tell me about that. How did that come about?
So it was the Mornington guys had touched base on it first, but it's quite a simple process. Like, it's not overly expensive. The guys do it here locally, cut it up, put it on a truck, and literally just get it out on site. So when we look at a package for a landscaper, they can come for a one-stop shop. That seems to be the buzzword at the moment. But from a contracting point of view, you want to be able to make one phone call, know that you can get all the materials that you need, they're at a competitive price, and that you can get them to site all in one go. And
Yeah.
we talk a lot about our ability to deliver on site. We've got trucks with forklifts. We're a contractor that's got 5 or 6 trucks, and then through Mornington we've acquired the truck and forklift down there as well. So we can get stuff to site really quickly and effectively.
I didn't see that one coming, mate. Thanks for sharing.
Well, just on that, new products, mate. That's where it is. It drives energy through the team. So guys like seeing new products, new technology, and we've got to move through those, because I think when my team sees a new product, they jump all over it and they're invested into it. And sometimes we've seen this. We did the Grabbo together when that went in fast, and now it just becomes a normal sort of tool. But it can move quite quickly.
Yeah, 100%. New products definitely encourage a lot of enthusiasm and power within a business, and you need to jump over it a little, if not a little bit, a lot quickly, and push it out. And that's where you usually get your market share, and then it becomes another product on shelf that you have available for everyone that comes in. That's great.
I think I was just going to say it helps with our reputation as well. Like, if we're always seen as an innovator or doing something new or first or jumping on something like that, I think our customers also get excited by it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, look, I don't want to deep dive too much on this today, but how do you go about marketing when you've got those new products like turf? Is it a whole new campaign that you have to run with your marketing team to get it out there that this is what we're doing now?
Marketing is on our work hard on this area space, with a multitude of different products, social media, EDMs. Like, it is a lot to be able to get out and keep up to date. So we're really trying to evolve in that area. I think the online space is a great tool to use to be able to bring more customers in. But yeah, we're marketing, it's communication. So probably a different element we've added is probably more feet on the ground. So we've got a couple more reps and BDMs that we've had before. And I think getting out hands-on, face-to-face is sort of really what we need sort of in this post-COVID era as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, let's touch on community and culture. Ultimate Tiles, obviously, with its deep family history in the industry, it comes from some pretty healthy roots with regards to its interaction within the building and construction game, from local charity partnerships, family leadership. When your dad was around, how do those values influence business decisions, especially during sort of major growth phases like this acquisition?
Yes, so it's been a different situation for the Mornington store. Like, I haven't been too involved in that local community, but I understand still it's a small community that's down there, and a lot of businesses and people have been down there for a long time. So I'll be actively looking to follow what we've currently been doing up at Pakenham Narre Warren branches, and then looking to get into those sort of areas as well. I think if I can connect myself with the local community, they will see that be reflected as well. And all of our team from down there are all local people as well. So it's going to be important for me to connect with their local networks and communities as well.
Yeah, awesome.
So I've got my work cut out. I've got a lot of people to see.
Mate, you do. It sounds like
it's important.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And when we spoke about the acquisition a couple of weeks ago now, I was excited for you. Like, it's obviously living in Melbourne for 10 years and having a fairly good understanding of the landscape. It's an excellent area. It's incredibly buoyant. There's beautiful homes down there. I think most of the weekends the place is chockers with people from Melbourne visiting. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely some excellent opportunities to grow that business and take it to unlimited heights.
Yeah, I think for the first 3 months we've been down there so far, understanding how each sort of segment comes together and what type of customer base we've currently got and what type of areas we can grow in as well. Like, as you move deeper down in that peninsula, the houses do get a lot bigger. And then you can still come up into some of these growth corridors through Frankston, Botanic Ridge and places like that as well. So, to have this southeast sort of area with 2 stores in 2 major locations, setting up a good structure for growth.
And I sort of somewhat know the answer to this question, but it's worth definitely asking. What's the competition like in the area at Mornington today versus when I was there 4 or 5 years ago?
Well, we've probably got 5 or 6 tile stores down there.
Yep.
Unfamiliar territory. Pakenham only has probably 3 these days. But I think our location certainly helps, being on the Nepean Highway, so we've got road frontage there. I'm not going to mention any of my competitors' names.
No, of course. And that's okay.
But I think that still trying to build that family business that's, like I said, it's had a couple of different owners, but it's been there for 40 years. To build on that foundation as well. People know where we are. They've been shopping with us for a long time. So, in my opinion, it is the biggest store on the peninsula there, and we're just going to continue to grow it as well.
Excellent, mate. Great to hear. I know we've already sort of touched on AI and technology a little bit, and look, these particular parts of anything play a significant role in how businesses operate today, and in particularly the decision-making frameworks that they implement around all things with growth when it comes to not only whether it's acquisitions of businesses or it's revenue growth or it's profit growth, whatever it might be. Do you think, and I know you shared one example before, but do you think the innovations are transforming the customer experience for both builders and homeowners in a positive way? And if so, are there other examples of how you've seen that happen recently in the last couple of years?
With technology, you mean?
Yeah, with technology, yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's a new wave of products coming through, obviously our in-app sort of finishes and things like that. So I think technology will continue to evolve our product and our range. I think when we look to builder or trade, I think they're looking for easier, faster, more efficient ways to do things. We've had a fair bit to do with a product called Monsoon lately. Which is like a waterproof panel shower base type system. I know there's some others out in the market, but that sort of innovation into new products has given us a sort of edge on the competition when it comes to pricing and installation. So I think technology in that sense and the way we're able to look at new products is certainly going to help. And then understanding what the client needs are and being able to move through those a bit faster, I think, is what we need. So that efficiency piece I'll come back to, because it's about how to get the information to the builder effectively, accurately, and efficiently, so that they can deliver that to their client. We want to grow. We want to be able to pick up more builders across Victoria. If we continue to invest in those areas ourselves, then I'm sure new business will continue to come our way.
Awesome, mate. Let's talk trade relationships and industry trends. Now, you've been at the forefront of the trade space for many, many years, and I know that you've always embraced new products. I'm going to imagine that you've got in excess of probably 1,500 trade professionals, if not more, in your network across now 3 different locations. What are you hearing from builders and tilers about the current state of the construction market, and how is Ultimate Tiles adapting to support them? Obviously you've shared about the monsoon thing. Are there other things that you're doing to reward and attract new clientele, and how are you building that part of the community within your business?
So I think in any market, I think there's some people that go well, and I think there's some people or areas that sort of struggle. We've seen sort of different pockets go well and some sort of fall off. So that volume builder residential type area has been the one that's slowed the most in Victoria. But then at the higher end side of things, I've got guys saying they can't keep up with the work that's available. So I think it's important for me, looking at our trade base, it is the foundation or the nucleus of what we have for our, and that's from everyone from builders to renovators, tilers, waterproofers. It's really how we can understand and have our fingers on the pulse, and then be able to adapt in those certain areas as well. So trade's very important for us about how we go about things, whether it be product selection, price, bulk deals, all that sort of thing. What else did you ask me there, Marky? I lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay. And it was a bit of a loaded question too. look, when we talk about volume builders work, look, decline, not decline, whatever words people want to choose, it's a similar story across the network around Australia. Probably not so much in Queensland. I think there's a little bit more energy up here at the moment with the ongoing discussions around the Olympics and what's around the corner, and can we finally just start building something, because that'd be great. And it's like, as society has it, the high-end volume builders have got more work than they can poke a stick at, because they're dealing with the clientele that have wealth, right? Let's call it what it is. And the volume builders are dealing with everyday people that have some wealth, but not, unlimited wealth. Unlimited wealth is probably the people that, the high-end builders are looking after. And every single person has earned that degree of wealth, whether it's, low, medium or high. You poetically put it before, it's about adapting to, sort of the market and looking after the groups that need the most looking after. I think with the construction market, there's a lot of noise online about Victoria. You don't need to really scroll too far before a post pops up or a reel pops up about, the state of the construction industry in Vic. Particularly, you see more of the bad stuff because it gets more attraction than the good stuff. So are you seeing the market, the challenges in the market because of the bad press, or are the guys just pushing through it and ignoring it? And how does that play into, the space and the business?
Okay, so for me, the way that I look at it, and I like to look at everything as an opportunity. So I think it is going to flip. Like, we know what the booming building industry in Victoria looks like. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of us out there going, we can't wait for it to happen again. So I think for us, it's now about preparation, and we've talked about technology and systems. We are focusing our areas there. Like I said, we've got people on the ground. We've got reps and BDMs that are out there, canvassing new customers and, finding out where our position is to be able to get new builders on board, because we know when it turns, it will turn, and we want to be ready there, giving the best option and the best solutions to our clients. So, yes, it's been a bit of a waiting game. We know there's a lot of challenges out there for builders, whether that be with state, federal, or even local governments. But when it does change, we're ready, and we'll be out there kicking some butt.
Nice. Awesome. Mate, let's just switch gears for a second. We talk about legacy and leadership, and we mentioned this before. Your dad, Rick, was an incredible man and certainly admired amongst the industry for the time that he was there. And so he founded the business in '88 with a strong focus on hard work and service. And I know that you've embodied that from the moment you worked with him and post. How have you built on the legacy whilst steering Ultimate Tiles into a more modern, technology-driven future? I know we've touched on it a few times, but are there any particular things that you are doing that really stand out?
I think the foundation in front of us, mate, is something that I always reflect on it. I've actually got a photo of Dad up in my office that I sort of look up to quite regularly, just to remind me that, what we've started with, it's still there in its sort of basis, but we can just do it differently. So, whether that be with, Tyler's barbecues or catch-ups or events or, just going out for a coffee or, even when they come in the store, sit and have a chat, like all those sort of things. I think the basis of that still exists. It just looks different. So that might mean that we're, having a chat over social media, or we got a group chat, or, certain things like that. But the real core and the fundamental of it is still there. I think everyone's a bit time poor, or we're busy with families and whatever else, which is what we need to prioritize these days. But I sort of say you can have it all at the same time as well. Like, if you, build good relationships at home with your family, with your wife, with your customers, with your staff, like all those sort of things, you can have a bit of everything. And finding that balance is tricky, but important that everyone's on the same page as well. Awesome. So, look, if there's anything to learn, I know you sort of look at the past and you go, well, how can we make sort of slight adjustments? And that's all I've done. I haven't really changed much. I think people compare me to my father a little bit, but that's okay. I'm really happy with that. But I know what we're after, and I know how to go about it. So it's just about putting it in place.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think's probably, well, not probably, what do you think is some of the most important things a person needs to hang on to ensure that they create balance in their lives and they're not burning out?
Well, this has been,
and I say that with respect to the fact that you've now got three shops, so with the recent acquisition, and you've got multiple trade stores, you've got multiple departments, you've got more staff. We all know, I don't know it as intimately as other people, but certainly people that are in business know that creates a whole extra layer or many layers of responsibility and challenges. And one of the things we need to be very conscious of is not burning the candle at both ends, which is a 1980 saying. But how do you make sure that you're firing every day, but also giving yourself time with family and things as well?
Yeah, I think I've got a solid foundation. So I've always wanted to grow this business. I've always wanted to push in the new areas. So I think, building up I've got a very healthy relationship with my wife, a very good relationship with all my three kids as well. So I think that foundation is really good, that they're all on board. Vic's involved in the business as well, which is great. We're in separate departments, which is good. But I think, having that family involved, so there's a bit of a respect and appreciation for what each other do. And I think that's an important place to build from. The second part, I spoke to a builder, a few years ago, and I said, "Wait, what's the secret? How you got 4 or 5 businesses? How does it all work?" He goes, "It's all about good people. And if you've got good people do good things, and they protect and look after each other as well." So probably a shout out to my team across both stores, because I wouldn't have been able to move into this acquisition without a really strong team, and then also move into a new business that already has a strong team as well. So when I sit back and sort of have a look at it, reflect and everything else, I think when I look at my base, my team, I also try and balance a bit of my own sort of stuff as well. I'm now a current golfer. I've given away cricket.
Oh, look out.
So
I've just finished watching Happy Gilmore too.
Nice. So what do they say? All the gear and no idea. That's a bit of me at the moment. So, but that's me finding my outlet as well.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've got as well, I've got a very good business consultant that sort of helps guide the way as well. When you're working in or on the business, sometimes you can get caught both ways. That I've got someone there that we catch up with all the time. Has helped me through this process, managing bigger organisations as well. So, being in, I'm going to say my mid-30s, that it wouldn't be considered probably normal to go and acquire a large business like Mornington. So having a good team, good consultant, and everything else around me being quite stable has enabled me to do it properly.
Awesome. Well done, mate. Congrats on that. And I haven't said that yet, but congratulations on the acquisition. I think I know the business, not intimately, but from the outside looking in, and it seems to be a very strong and powerful business. And I know Fred as an operator he emulates those sort of principles as well, and I think that's why he did as well as what he did for as long as what he did in the industry. So hopefully, I think
the relationship between him and my father was they were best buds. So they had lots of chats about everything that was going on as well. So Fred and I have continued that relationship as well for that mentorship and support too.
A quick word from our sponsor. Partner with Gripset and become one of Australia's leading waterproofers. Waterproofing is one of the most in-demand trades. With Gripset's accredited practitioner program, GAP, you'll be trained and certified in just 3 days. Backed by Australia's leading waterproofing supplies manufacturer and run by trainers with over 20 years of experience within the industry, GAP gives you a wealth of knowledge. Learn how to identify and prevent dampness and water damage in both residential and commercial structures by exploring the current Australian waterproofing standards, correct preparation of substrates for waterproofing, and how to apply both sheet and liquid membranes with a particular focus on the trickier areas such as joints and penetrations. Upon completion, you will be a fully accredited GAP applicator and will be able to access exclusive benefits and free business advertising to expand your clientele. Spots are filling up fast. Upskill today. Visit gripset.com/gap. That's gripset.com/gap, where great applicators get even better.
Mate, I know we've already touched on it a little bit. I just want to try and expand on sort of market challenges and opportunities. I know that you're a very opportunistic person. You've mentioned that today, and you look at where are the opportunities with the things when they occur, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. Obviously the last 12 months, the construction renovation market's been up and down all over the place across most states. What sort of programs are you doing at the moment or have been doing previously to, I suppose, attract new clientele or reward people for spending or builders? If there's some things that you can share that are working for you in the business without giving too much away, because obviously you don't want your competitors to copy it. But are there some things that you're doing that are unique to the group that are setting you apart from the rest of the players in the marketplace?
But once again, it's hands on the ground. I think having reps out in the field certainly helped to be able to get to our customers. I think the use of our suppliers as well. So being able to connect with those guys to do specifications or projects. I found that having one of our reps with those guys will help secure the project or make pricing a little bit easier and more accessible to the guys. And I think probably as we continue to grow the business as well, there will be an expansion of some new stores in the coming years as well. And what I want to be able to do is map out to our trades in the southeast corridor that you're going to be able to go to each store, be able to use your same account, be able to access your same pricing or whatever it is in multiple different locations. So I think more people on the ground, more stores on the ground, therefore that's going to support the tradies in all areas, whether that be builders, renovators, tilers, waterproofers, caulkers, flooring guys, all that sort of stuff as well. So I think having, like I said, post-COVID era is, we need to be more connected one-on-one, and we can still do that through other mediums. But, having that accessibility for clients to be able to go to pick up their box of tiles or have something on a fast delivery, whether that be with a courier or pallet deliveries through our contractors. That's what's important. We're in a go now phase, and that's what we want to be able to deliver to our clients.
Yeah, nice. The customer experience, and I want to touch on this a little bit because my past guest who I had on, and which there is an episode that will be launching shortly, and I learned more about this particular company second time around when I had Ben on, and it was a sort of the digital landscape with regards to a visualizer for tiles and putting them into, on a PC or on a phone somewhere and actually doing the visualization on colours and size and shapes and what it would look like before you buy it. And it was very interesting. One of the things that Ben mentioned was that in the last, I think, 12 months, there had been about 1.8 million uses of their program in Australia. And that was a huge number. And hopefully I'm not giving too much away because the episode launches later this week. However, Ben can articulate that way better than I can. And they're doing a lot of work at the moment with realestate.com.au. And they're finding a lot of people that are actually looking at acquiring property are using the visualizer to shape the rooms before they've even bought it.
Interesting.
So, yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. But have you looked at that sort of technology at all for the businesses that you've got, or is it still very hands-on where obviously there's an interior design aspect part of putting something together for a client? However, is there any piece of digital, that you're doing? Is it still very much a touch and feel relationship sort of customer experience?
First of all, you should get me in touch with Ben because it's a regular thing that clients ask. It's almost like, what does it look like on a bigger scale? And sometimes hard to articulate that when you've got, one tile that's got 30 different faces, and you can show them an image, but it's an image of the Bahamas and you're like, well, we don't live in the Bahamas. So give me something a bit more realistic. So I think, like we said before, I think that this area continues to grow. How my previous experience has been that it doesn't quite pick up the digital print that too well, great colours and all that sort of stuff. But it's come a long way as well.
It has, yeah.
I think it's a combination, isn't it? Like everything we do, whether that be marketing or tiles retail, it's how do you present yourself online? How does the client build trust with what you're doing when they come into your store? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How are they greeted? Can they see these big displays? Can they touch them? Can they feel them? Can they see that there's underfloor heating, matching taps, matching drains, all these sort of things? It's very hard to articulate that just online, but it's an important piece of the puzzle. So everything I'm sort of thinking about at the moment is a combination of, right, we need to do well in this area to be able to get guys into the showroom, but then that client may buy their product online at the same time as well. So they might grab that sample, go home, then purchase. So how do we piece all of them together? That's why marketing's in our quarter one next year.
Nice. Well, when you're buying new stores, I completely understand why that would be as well. There's you bite off a certain piece of the strategy, one portion at a time. Otherwise, you're trying to paddle, keep your head above water, and you're just doing too much at one time. And in retrospective, we don't want your golf time taken away. So,
well, we can play X golf at night time, mate. So we should be all right.
True.
I think another just a thing on that too, mate, is that interior design space as well. Seems like there's a lot of interior designers out there at the moment, and a bit of a resurgence in the product, like tile industry in general. I feel like now you walk into a shopping centre, a cafe, a restaurant, it seems like almost everything's tiled, floor to ceiling, Subways, Kit Kats. So I think we're in a really interesting resurgence of tiles. Maybe we're at the end of the life cycle of timber, vinyl, and those sort of things, and people are coming back to tile right now.
Yeah, it's you've definitely got your finger more on the pulse than what I have in terms of that, and I do watch the stats and the numbers though, and we're still importing 36 to 38 million square metres of tiles a year into this country. So I can tell you now that people don't intentionally sit on millions of dollars worth of tiles for nothing. They certainly bring them in to sell them. So, but the numbers are consistent year on year. I think we had a dip a few years ago, and it sort of bounced back pretty quickly. And if we look at Chisai as a classic example of the amount of people over there buying tiles, I found out post me getting back that there was probably about a dozen people that I could have connected with, but we sort of, we two ships in the night, we missed each other. Yeah. But there's certainly a lot of people over there looking to bring tiles into the country that have done previously. So, there's I hear that the flavour of tiles, the styles, the combinations, the colours, the different ways they're installing them. Like some of the facade stuff is phenomenal that you can get now. We just need to try and get the installation piece enhanced to be able to have the people to do that. And that's the important part as well, because we can bring in whatever we want into the country, but if we don't have qualified people to install it, that product will just sit there and nothing will happen to it.
Well, that's a major challenge at the moment, isn't it? Qualified and skilled tradespeople. Yeah.
Yeah, and qualified skilled. I was going to say qualified, skilled, and willingness. People want to actually, touch stuff that is expensive, and you've got to charge a lot per square metre, and you make a mistake, and some of your profit's gone, and it's a challenge.
Yeah, and there's not much of a generation coming through underneath as well, which is a shame, because tiling's a good trade. It's a in-demand trade, and the good guys are doing extremely well at the moment. So, if you're a young tiler out there giving it a go, work hard and hone those skills. And that finesse, I think, is what people are after. People don't always want the cheapest price, even though some people are after the cheapest, but it's not always going to be that way. They want value. They want their tradie to rock up on time. They want, to know that they're using good quality materials as well.
Absolutely. Mate, we've talked a little, somewhat about the customer experience evolution today, and I know that you've shared with us the journey that you're on and what you're doing today in terms of personalised service and having reps on the road and having experts in their field, which I think is incredibly important in any business, particularly in retail, because one of the things that contractors, builders and or DIYers want is someone who's informed and knowledgeable and can give them peace of mind and reassurance that some of the decisions that they're making are either right or wrong, and if not, point them in the right direction. Do you see your business, you mentioned before about potentially acquiring or opening up some other locations in the future? Is that part of your sort of 5-10 year planning with your coach, and is that sort of how you see things? Do you see things continuing that way with that personalised experience, or do you see other things being added to that pipeline to be able to grow the business?
I think the stores is probably the next phase of where we go. We'll be targeting some certain areas over the next sort of 3 to 5 years. And like we spoke about before, setting ourselves up in those areas first and embedding ourselves in those sort of local communities and understanding what's going on first before looking at those new stores. Where do they come from? I'm not sure. We'll keep working through that. We know the sort of area we want to be in, but we'll see what opportunities sort of come up in front of us. As far as sort of anything new, no, it's getting the guys out there using the technology we've got, creating some harmony between all the teams as well. As we bring on new stores or new staff, teamwork and communication are those sort of values that we want to be able to uphold as well. We're having our Christmas party this weekend, so I'm looking forward to having everyone together and meeting each other. Most teams for the sort of first time, and all their partners as well. So you can see that once again, that family sort of building those relationships with everyone. That we invite everyone along to those events and build those relationships. So if everyone's partner sees how much fun they're having at work, that's what you want, isn't it?
100%. I mean,
sometimes.
Exactly right. We spend so much of our lifetimes working, whether you're self-employed or you're working for someone else in an amazing environment like Ultimate Tiles, and generally you take a lot of that back home with you at the end of the day, because generally the partners and, whether it be husband or wife or partner or boyfriend, girlfriend or other, they'll have conversations about their day. And because there'll be things about the day that are great and there'll be things that are about the day that'll be shit. And you just need to get it off your chest and talk about it. And hopefully, you've got the ability to just park it after you've spoken about it, and then you can just move on, because letting any sort of negative energy weigh you down is just not worth its time. I'm guessing you haven't chosen something like laser tag or anything like competitive.
No. It's quite. We're going out for dinner. We've got a quizmaster coming in, so we'll do a trivia night and a DJ awesome. To finish it off. So, good bit of balance for everyone there. We get some nice food, some fun quiz, and then everyone can dance if they feel like it.
That's awesome. Quizmaster is probably one of the best Christmas ideas I've heard of.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's important for my team to be able to connect. They might be sitting next to someone they don't know, and they might, learn a little bit more about them as well. So, a major part of my role now is, creating that connection and really working hard on my communication with each member of the team, making sure that everyone sort of feels a bit absolutely supported as well, with what they need to do, and also empowered to make decisions and influence change within the business as well. So that's an important part for me. I want to see my team grow. If my team grow, our people grow, the company grows as a result of that.
Mate, really awesome point as we near the conclusion of our catch-up today. What sort of leadership do you have within the business in terms of a team, and how do you guys get together to work on, the business? Obviously, every day you'll be working in the business and doing all the things and the activities to make sure the customer experience is fulfilled as promised and all of that. But is there a leadership team, and how do you guys approach tackling all of the really important things to make sure the business is moving in the right direction?
Yeah, so I reckon we've covered this in our first pod too. So nothing's so much changed about how we go about it, just the size of the business and how we do put things together. When I think back in that podcast, I mentioned planning, and it was just about setting a plan, whether that be a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year plan, and something to work towards. So I think that's the first key bit of advice that I give. I feel comfortable every day coming to work knowing what our goal is, where we want to be, that we want to be the largest independent tile store. Like, that's what we think about every day, and that's what sort of motivates the team. Now, there's steps and ways that we're going to go about that. And with our sort of strategic plan, we're trying to do a bit of corporate stuff as well. We're growing to that size of the business. Then we do have regular meetings with whether that be our sales team or our operations team or our senior management team. We probably get together regularly, probably once a month. So it depends on which sort of time of the month we meet with certain teams. But I think, having that connection, catching up, having a coffee, everyone meeting in one location, maybe going down to Mornington or coming up to Pakenham, certainly creates a bit of a break in everyone's day as well and builds those relationships. So, I think through good structure and good people, I think that's what certainly helps us stay focused on what we need to.
Excellent, mate. Love it. Tell me, Sean, is there anything that I haven't asked you today that we should be talking about before we wrap up?
Is that a loaded question too?
It doesn't need to be.
Just checking.
I just want to make sure that we have talked about all of the things that are amazing in your world, and bloody proud of what you've done, and what an accomplishment, and can't wait to sort of see the journey unfold over the next sort of 6 months, 12 months, and beyond.
Yeah.
So no, it's mate, it's a big move to acquire more businesses, and you've been doing it now for some time in terms of running the businesses successfully. So good on you for doing it, mate. It's not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure.
Thanks, mate. And look, I do love getting out of bed every morning. I love catching up with my team, and I probably don't see as many tiles as what I used to, but definitely when people bring in some new product that's on trend and those sort of things, we get around it and create some positivity. So I'm excited for what the next sort of 5 years looks like for us as an organisation, and what sort of steps we're going to take forward. I'm also really looking forward to our team developing and growing as well. Like I keep saying, we've got some really good people, some people that I can really trust and rely on, which is hugely important, when I'm not here all the time. So I'm going to keep supporting my team to be the best that they can be. And we're going to grow Ultimate Tiles into being the biggest independent tile store in Victoria.
Bravo. Love it. If people want to connect in with Sean, I think I'm pretty familiar with how they can do that. So we can definitely share and have some details in the show notes, unless there's a specific way for you want them to reach out to you. However, if they want to check out the locations, the trade locations, and or the retail stores as well, what's the best way for the community to have a look at Ultimate Tiles, Pakenham and Mornington, and the trade outlets at Narre Warren and Mornington?
Yeah, well, I always say, mate, if you're looking for me, you'll probably find me. So that won't be a drama. And obviously the website's going to be the best place to start. And then if you want to sort of see a bit more about our story and probably a bit more personal touch, head to our social media channels, primarily on Instagram would be the way to go. Yeah, reach out. Look, we're always happy to have a chat. I know a couple of your guests I've reached out to before, every now and then when you hear a really good episode, to get around other people in the industry as well. Always say it's better to have friends than enemies, so better off knowing everyone than fighting with everyone. So, yeah, no, absolutely. If anyone wants to reach out, I'd be happy to have a chat.
Beautiful, mate. Love it. Mate, until next time, stay connected. I really appreciate your time today. If you have an opportunity and want to hear more from Sean, definitely reach out and connect with him. And, look, it's a great game that we're all in, and let's keep playing it positively and keep moving forward.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Tiling Connect. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Tiling Connect, jump on our socials and follow us via LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook. If you'd like to be part of the show, email us at tilingconnect@gmail.com. Until next time, stay connected.